right? Immigration is fine. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. It should not exist. By saying it should not exist, it means that their own countries, they should do better, basically, okay? Or they should figure out a better way of doing things, you know? Or we as people should figure out better ways of doing things. We might forget sometimes that we are all people at the end of the day. We all live on this earth. We have the same literal goals, you know? We're just trying to survive. All of us, humans, okay? No matter where we're from. It just so happens that some of us got born in like the middle of the earth, some of us got born in like some other corners of the earth, okay? So nothing gives you the right to tell people that they cannot go to this side of the world or that side of the world. It's all God's land, you know, at the end of the day. So a lot of these people who live in Africa mostly, which comes basically like literally underneath the sun, you know, it's literally directly under the sun, which is considered to some degree like a bad location for people to live at, right? Because you're directly under the sun, temperatures as high as like 50 degrees in the summer. Most humans cannot really survive that, you know. It's annoying, gets annoying at some point, and people want to flee, you know. They just can't stay there, you know. That's why people don't live in the desert, you know. People try to live in better areas than the desert. They just leave the desert, you know. Even some animals can't live in the desert, you know. Even animals can't live there. If the situation is that bad where even animals cannot live in these places, who are you to tell these people that they cannot flee to other places, to other better places, to colder places, maybe to places where they can thrive better, where they can do better? And so these people naturally would flee to the place nearest to them, which would give them that opportunity, which was that little city. They're humans. They're just like us. They just want to move to another place. You know, you don't have to take care of them. You don't have to do anything. Just let them be. They'll figure it out. Okay, as long as they're not harming anyone, they're welcome. That's how it should be everywhere. You know, you're just trying to survive. You know, that's like our humanship at the end of the day. And we're talking about Morocco. You know, it's a very well-known country. A lot of people come to it from all over the world just to see the culture, to see the country. It's like it's a very like what is the word, secular country. You know, people from that country like normally go to France because France colonized them in the past. Spain also colonized them in the past. England and these like other countries. You know, and it makes total sense because they can speak the language to some degree, and they got colonized by them, and you could ascribe some of the mistakes that happened in that country to these European countries in the past. Because if you get a bad start, especially for these countries, you can to some degree blame that on the people who gave you the bad start. You know, unlike countries who got a head start, you know, the European countries, etc. Right? You might bring up the example of Japan. They got nuked with 2 atomic bombs, but they still survived and they still thrived and everything, right? But Japan did not really get occupied, and they just got nuked. Okay, and I'm not saying that getting nuked is not bad. You know, it is bad, but you can recover from that. But things like what France did to Morocco or to Tunisia or to Algeria, these are like they changed them culturally. They changed a lot of the country's roots. You know, they did a lot of things to these countries. So a lot of massacres happened, of course. A lot of killing happened. A lot of bad things happened, you know, in the past to these countries by the European countries. And so these countries are still affected by that until today. It's very hard to recover from that. You know, you changed a lot of the people there. You might know the player Lamine Yamal. He's originally Moroccan to some degrees. I think he's half Moroccan or something like that, right? But you can notice there's many of the citizens of Spain that are Moroccan, you know. So it doesn't sound like Spain is not fond of Moroccans. That's what I'm seeing. And so they kind of let them come to the country, and even if you see the police, they're chilling. They're just like watching people come over, you know. And except for that one police.
And so what I said is that I think that if you have that many people pouring over your border and you just can't deal with it all, like you can look at the footage of this and it literally looks like it's World War Z. It looks like a battlefield, right? It's like a hell on earth type situation. There's trash everywhere and everything. I think I'm straight up saying you should shoot these people, right? I mean, like, I believe.
Wait, what do you mean there's trash everywhere? These people just came. Where did they bring the trash from? They came by sea. They came swimming. They came with nothing. So unless if you're talking about the people, which is you trying to dehumanize them, you know, which is ridiculous, honestly. So, and what else did he say?
I do. I mean, I'm straight up saying you should shoot these people, right? I mean, like, I believe.
And he's saying that you should shoot these people. Why would you shoot people that are fleeing their countries? Okay, why? These people are looking for help from other fellow people. Why would you shoot them? It doesn't make any sense. Okay. in the US, probably your parents probably came from somewhere else, from Europe, I don't know where. Imagine if they got shot that day, then what? You wouldn't even exist, you know. So it's a normal thing. People go from place to place. It doesn't really matter. It's not a big deal. I don't know why people cannot wrap their heads around it. You don't have to be like a good person to think that, or a liberal to think that people can travel to other places and stay there. No, it's just as long as you're a decent human being, then you can stay whatever fuck you want. That's as simple as that. We're all humans at the end of the day.
I mean, this is a violent military invasion into a city.
A violent military invasion. A violent. What is violent about some kids rushing into a country? Like, what is the violence? I don't see it.
And after they got into the city, obviously these people were smashing out windows. They were obviously, you know, breaking.
Obviously you don't have any evidence of that. Obviously, yeah.
The stores, stealing things out of stores.
Stealing things out of stores. Where have you seen that? Where have you seen that? I don't think any of that happened. I know Moroccans. Moroccans wouldn't do that. I know. I've met Moroccans before. I don't think they do that. No.
I saw like one video. It's always hard to know like what's real and what's not. But I saw a video and it's like, if you ever watch Troy, we remember like a fucking Brad Pitt's Achilles like stabbed the dude in the neck at the beginning of the movie. That's like what happened. Like one of these like migrants seemingly stabbed a random citizen in the neck with this knife, right? And they killed this person. I'm assuming, right?
I don't know what video he's talking about, but until I see that video, I don't know, man. I'm not buying.
So they're in critical condition. So basically, the city is being terrorized by a mass invasion of military-age migrants that have come over for, you know, various different.
He keeps trying to say that they're military-aged, like as if there are an actual freaking military. No, they're not. They're just kids. Okay, they're just kids that swam to the other side of their country. You know, it's not a big deal.
Reasons. And people were saying that you couldn't do that because, well, there might be kids in the crowd. And my response to that is that you should shoot them anyway. You should do this anyway. And it doesn't matter.
Yeah, shooting kids is crazy. Shooting any human being is crazy. You know, like how cheap a human life to you is. Just because someone upset you by being at a certain place, you have the right to shoot them. It's that simple to you. You know, do you know how many like death trials ever happened in the world? They're slim to none. You know, slim to none. We don't shoot people. We don't do that. We don't do that here. Maybe in the jungle. If you want to be treated like an animal, go live in the jungle. But we are humans. We do not do that. We do not condone that. We do not do that. I don't know if you've been watching a lot of Israeli media or whatever, and it affected you to some degree. Now you're like you're becoming more susceptible to these types of acts, and now you're saying, oh, and yeah, we can shoot people. We should just shoot people. You know, like who cares? Like there's animals. You know, even animals have the rights not to get shot. You know, so if you saw a dog, okay, and the dog was like tearing up the trash or something in your area, would you shoot that dog? Would you shoot that dog? You wouldn't. Okay, why? Because we're human beings. Okay, we're decent. We know that we should not do certain things. We have the concept called mercy. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but you don't even need mercy to do that. You know, you just need basic human decency, basic humanity. You know, basic common sense. And you know, this is the result of like staying chronically on X or on Twitter, basically. Elon Musk has created this platform where it became an echo chamber to people who are radical and have certain viewpoints about like race and etc. Right, where it would push exactly the things that these people would like to feed on. So if you ever see like Asmongold scrolling through Twitter, what do you see? You keep seeing the same rhetoric being shown again and again and again. And he's just trapped in his own echo chamber in that app, and he's not trying to go out of it. This guy doesn't even talk to people online. He just stays in his echo chamber where he talks to himself, and he's like, okay, I'm just gonna keep feeding myself the same stupid rhetoric that I'm seeing, you know. And he never exits that echo chamber, and he stays there, and he keeps sharing it. He's like, oh look, oh, see, brother, you are a social media influencer, okay? You should know at least like the least bit of thing about algorithms and how they work. But he pretends that he doesn't know. He pretends that, oh, see, see, like look at my feed, like I only see like these refugees doing this and that, you know, and it's like maybe one refugee or two or three out of like millions. A couple of bad people in a million of people, like it's not an indication that this whole group of people are bad, you know.
And creating a reward structure and an incentive structure around using kids, trafficking children, and effectively using them as political capital to fulfill an invasion's goal, which is to...
Okay, so that doesn't work, and I'll tell you why. Because these people, you're assuming directly that... Why did you assume that these people are bringing the kids so that people cannot kick them out? Why would you assume that in the first place? You don't know anything about these countries. You know, I just told you now that these people are fleeing their countries because of the bad conditions. So their hope by bringing their kids here is that they want the best for... Any human being would want the best for their child. These people are not savages, as you say. They're not animals. Even animals would want the best for their child, you know. So saying that these people are just using their kids as human shields is insane. You know, you're just stripping out their humanity. They are humans at the end of the day. They feel like us. They understand like us. I'm telling you, they speak more languages than you. You know, maybe I can like explain this to you. So people come to these countries, they bring their kids with them with the hope that their kids would have a better life in these countries. They would be granted a better education, a better opportunity. That's why they bring their kids with them. That's why they sacrifice their lives and bring their kids with them. But they try to protect them also. You know, they do their best to protect them. But what led them to that in the first place? They saw that the opportunities in their own countries are extremely bad, that even their kids, they don't believe that their kids would have a good opportunity in the future in this country, or would have any future in this country at all. You know, because simply their country doesn't really care about them, maybe. Or maybe their country is so corrupted and they can't do anything about it, you know. So people would flee these countries, would try to improve things for themselves, and then try to raise their kids there so that they can have a better life and then come back to their own country and achieve better things. It's just like the example of Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal, he brought the World Cup for Spain. Not just... So these kids have potential, you know, and he was a migrant too. So what, you know? And so yeah, that's the whole thing. They're people at the end of the day. They're not harming anyone. They're just trying to survive, just like you are. Simple as that. If they do happen to harm anyone, arrest them. Simple. You know, put them in jail, whatever. You know, as long as they're being civil, as long as they're living, they're just trying to survive. For all I know, you should just like let them be. Right? Until someone does the bad thing, then you can arrest them for that. Then it's innocent until proven guilty. That's how we run the world. That's what we humans agreed upon. If you don't agree with that, then go live in the jungle, I guess. You know, in the jungle you can shoot anyone you want. You know, anyone you don't like the tiger's colors, just shoot them. You know, do whatever you want there.
And by the way, the usage of people like this as human shields is a war crime in itself. And that's, I think, the biggest issue that I have.
Yeah, that's why these people did not get arrested, you know, because they're not using their children as human shields, obviously. Like nobody does that. Literally no one. If you try to use like human shields, you probably use the other, like your enemies' ransoms or something, you know. You wouldn't use your own children. That it's just stupid. No one does that.
One of these people that are criticizing this is that
The fact that you just believe that from like you believe anything that Israel throws at you, it's just ridiculous.
I don't think that I said anything wrong. I think that a lot of people actually would agree with me.
That's crazy. I assure you, no one's agreeing, brother. I would say like probably like 99% of people don't agree with you. Even like people, I don't know, even retards wouldn't agree with you. You know, like what?
And I think that the way that we've taken military action in the past, things like, for example, World War II, we should look at a lot of these uncomfortable truths with a lot more of a clear mind, rather than allowing
Okay.
to be polluted by people that I think want to hurt us, people that want to.
Okay, the clear mind is scrolling through X and seeing all like your own echo chamber just repeating the same rhetoric to you, like the right wing, whatever, right? Instead of like talking to people, literally listen to what he says.
Polluted by people that I think want to hurt us, people to be polluted by more of a clear mind, rather than allowing it to be polluted by people that I think want to hurt us.
Polluted by people that want to hurt us. So like talking to people is going to pollute you instead of like scrolling through X and looking at every right-wing maniac speaking about this problem. Yeah.
Want to put us in a position that is not advantageous.
Yeah. I don't know. Common Asmongold take, I guess. Yeah. I want to go back to actually playing the Total War Warhammer 3. Let's go. Let's get back to it. Oh man, I'm liking this game so far. You know, I don't know, but we'll see.